Hey y'all, I'm PariahDox and welcome back. Excuse me. I'm PariahDox and welcome back to our short story Let's Play. Alright, last time, we discovered the fates of Gus, Gregory, I think Sam also, with a really cute, endearing father-daughter hunting thing. It got much less cute and endearing as the hunting happened. Gregory was a beautiful scene, and Gus had a pretty interesting kite scene. Dawn being our mother here in the kids' bedroom. The one who sealed up all of the walls. Raise flag, 7:30 a.m. Breakfast, 8 a.m. Quiet time, 11 a.m. Duties, Dawn, sweep, trash. Gus, mop, mow yard. Greg, be a baby. Routine, jump rope 100 times. Jumping jacks, 150. 100 push-ups, 100 crunches, and run to mailbox and back. That one seems a little bit... Oh, hey, it's got a little rock climbing wall.
After her brothers died.
This is cute.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
They kept her in this room, right? Because everyone kind of stays in their room forever and ever.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
That makes sense. Dawn and
She spent the
Sanjay.
summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Okay. We're helping hands create safe spaces. Wonderful. What do we got? High school. Don't forget, visa application. College application. Fly to India. Very cute. Whatever happened to Mom, though?
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
Yeah, but no
Louis
one
was
leaves for
born a
that
year
long.
later.
Right. So it was one of my brothers. Milton was the one
When
who...
my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
That's for sure. Milton was the one
And to see
who...
kids in the house again.
Excuse me. Milton being my little brother who disappeared, but also has been in all of the little secret hidey holes in the house. Right.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Right. So they literally just built
For a
up.
while, things were good. Almost normal.
Very organized. Another gerbil.
But it didn't last.
Very cute family.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Right. We see in his room.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Oh. He's talented, actually. He was born the same year as me. Makes sense. Just kidding, I'm just kidding. Okay.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
I agree. These are minimalistic, but like beautiful. Also like the architecture and the everything being black and white. Pull it up. Oh, an observatory? That's also an art studio? Yo. Kind of nerve this kid got disappearing. He's so cute. A magic paintbrush.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Alright, let's do it. Interesting. Got a paintbrush out of one of his art pieces, of course. Paints a door and walks into it. Disappears forever. That's one way of doing it.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
But he's just right here behind this. No?
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
That's fair also. He did find his way around inside the house. The way these things are laid out, like, it's super linear but super not linear at the same time, it's beautiful.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Right. Lewis is the brother that got the job.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Of course. Works at the cannery. Maybe likes to... lives in a boat on the top of a house. What an interesting lad. Perhaps partakes in some legal recreation. Or maybe he just likes these colors. Who knows, you know?
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Yeah, for tobacco use only. Washington, it's a weed's legal there. Yeah.
Lewis and I
Wonderland
spent
Turbo.
a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
That's funny. Whole workout ball, gaming system. Yeah, this kid's killing it. Another wonderful view. Dawn Finch. Oh, what's this? Institute of Psychology.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself.
It's almost like VR, the way they do
the same behavior.
the way that they do the
His
movements.
mind began to wander.
Like, it's having me do this movement that he's actually doing while I'm playing this RPG.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
Like, I'm not paying attention to the fish at all right now. Nope.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
This is RPG this dude's playing in his head.
But he found something more.
Oh. Oh, it's getting even
I
better.
worried about him then.
Now we're going this way? Follow the yellow brick
Daydreaming of
road?
the cannery.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I
not paying
spoke with his
attention.
boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
If this makes me
So
cut
I
my
let him
hand
go
off,
on.
I'm gonna actually feel like I've lost my hand.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Oh, it's a puppy. Hey, buddy.
On
Campsite?
the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
With fish are
He
like,
built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
cute.
And songs for them to play.
This is like very similar to the babies
Talked about
one.
starting a band.
Bum, bum.
And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
This is super cool. Chop the fish.
He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination,
Uh-oh.
so he could do whatever he wished.
Yes, this is true.
He held an election for mayor.
It's me, the mayor. It's Super Mario. Cute.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Oh, jeez. This is so cool. Like, I'm WASD moving this action
Conquer a
around,
city, then immediately push on.
and I'm with my mouse doing the fish motion with one hand.
New Louisville.
New Louisville. Nice.
St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
He started drifting away from our reality.
Yeah, I think it's taking up more and more of the screen as we're going on.
Minneapolis. One day he
Minneapolis.
forgot to go home from the cannery.
Oh.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Yikes. He's addicted to being at the cannery because he's in this imaginary world.
He heard rumors of a
Handsome queen?
handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Sinister serpents, of course. We're here to be heroes.
serpents. He followed the sound of her
Silver harp, dude.
silver harp.
Although the electric sitar is pretty tempting. Oops.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it.
Chop.
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
This is maybe one of the longest, most detailed ones, I feel like.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
My brain is like trying to process so much at once.
That the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Right.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Shifts over at the cannery.
He began to forget the world we know.
Or shift's just starting at the cannery again.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Oh. What happened to... Oh, I'm in the... I have the cape on and everything. And my shadow.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Ah. It's me. Of course it is. Just mindlessly...
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
His family does have a
Alice would
vivid
be his
imagination.
companions.
Now we're in it, dude. Yeah. Seems like... Oh, there's a
The
kitty.
wise Calico had insisted on inviting him.
Orange tabby cat. Maury. I think I'm seeing a connection in all of these. Maybe. Our
His
queen.
queen waited, holding his crown.
That's a...
There was only one thing left to do.
That's a guillotine, though?
Bend down his head.
But... Here's the thing, though. This is a guillotine.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
The fish chopper, most likely.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
So, here's what I'm thinking. Odin, I don't remember Odin's story well enough. Walter died to the monster that was outside of his door. That was actually, he locked himself in there because he was imagining it. Because he thought it was a monster, but it was actually a train. Sam, I think, might kind of break the mold, actually. But Calvin wanted to fly and got lost in his imagination. Barbara wanted to be famous again, got lost in her imagination. Molly wanted to eat, got lost in her imagination, got eaten by the monster. Gregory, pretty obvious. Gus got kind of lost in thought. Milton and Lewis both completely lost in like imagination worlds. Sam, I don't see the connection as much because he just died to like a deer knocking him off a cliff, which was kind of his own form of escapism, I guess. I'm not sure on that one. Odin and Sam being the two that I'm not super sure about. So far, at least. But everyone, it seems like they just have these incredible imaginations, and their imaginations almost do them in.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Is this Mom's room?
I wish we'd stayed.
All the missing
I
posters.
understand why we left.
Their own fridge.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Oh, she wrote that book. O God, you have called your servants to ventures of which we cannot see the ending, by paths as yet untrodden, through the perils unknown. Give us faith to go with good courage, and not knowing where we go, but only that your hand is leading us and your love is supporting us. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. You know, not very much of a religious person myself, but I can appreciate it. There's Sanjay stuff.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Birds hanging. This is her room. This is my room. Ah, yes, another wonderful imagination.
All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Oh, I didn't mean to walk back down. No, my pacing. All these stories have been coming from Edith's imagination. Into the journal.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Grown-ups have to
We're all
argue
leaving tomorrow.
now.
Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The grown-ups have to argue now.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Okay.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Odin. Ron and Aegir. Milton, Lewis. The History of the Finches by Edith Finch.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born.
Okay.
That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know,
I bet it did.
I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Oh no. Just keep walking straight. Everything is fine. You can
I got
still see.
turned around.
Oh. What? No, I'm not turned around. You're turned around.
For a while, I wandered.
Let's walk.
I started seeing things.
The deer? That deer's been around a lot.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
The old house, huh? Great.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Hey.
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it.
Right, as you do.
A few years went by.
Oh, just a sec.
My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly.
The way they play with the text on the screen is...
She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you.
Oh?
I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this.
The baby.
If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Are we about to get
This
born?
tunnel was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it.
Oh?
I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Well, it's
This
childbirth,
is
you
where
know.
your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
A little kiddo. For Shirley Dallas. What an absolutely wonderful game. That was definitely an experience. The ending got me a little bit there. I guess the ending was just that the curse didn't actually, like, sure, the family was cursed, but the curse itself didn't actually matter that much. It was mostly just a nice message about living life and being there in the moment sort of thing. Not getting lost in your imagination too much. But still, it was freaking gorgeous. I won't do too much speculation at the end here, but I'll try to fill some of the time when we make it through these credits. The, like, art design and the, like, Milton mystery and just all of the cool little details and the rooms changing while you're playing through the past and the way that it was linear but not linear at the same time. Hypothetically, we could have, like, skipped rooms or something, or that we just happened to pick the correct route every single time, which I suppose is also possible. But the rooms themselves each had so much personality. I'm currently I've gotten 2 achievements now as we've gone through the end credits here and watched through them. But yeah, like, the rooms themselves had so much personality and so much, like, design and uniqueness to them in the house, like the way that they, because coming from the Midwest, there's a, like, farmhouse archetype where it's like you build out and you just add new rooms when new people get born. But in this case, it was kind of that, like, the Series of Unfortunate Events book style where they, like, kept building upwards, and very, very, I think it wears its influence on its cheek about the Series of Unfortunate Events books, because they seem very similar aesthetically and, like, the way that things are kind of happening. And sure, yeah, it's bad stuff that's happening to everyone, but the way that things are just kind of, like, always perfectly set up, or, like, there's this weird, like, fantastical element to everything that's happening. Absolutely lovely. We will keep making our way and appreciate a little bit of the quiet music at the end credits here. Again, both this game and the game we played last, Journey, are by those Aluparna Interactive publisher, who also has a couple of other really good games along this line. They have a game called Gone Home, which I think is a very similar sort of story. Also, the real-life photos in these story games are always so cute. And shoutouts to their playtesters for sure. I think also worth mentioning that the actual game design, the mechanic design of the game, was also just as artistic as the rest of the game. I know you didn't have your hands on the keyboard, so you couldn't feel it quite as much, but, like, especially in that fish cutting scene where it was just, like, mindlessly making this motion. I have a weighted mouse as well, so it kind of added on to that, but very wonderful. That's going to be the end of what remains of Edith Finch. Unfortunately, not much remains of Edith Finch, but next time, I'm not sure what game we're going to be playing next, directly after this, but we're going to be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just like always, and I hope you guys have a good time and enjoyed this game, because I certainly did. Like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube thing, because that's what YouTube is here to do. I'll see you guys next time.